This is Brother Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
We all beings under once again to have on the one and only. There is no one like this brother on the planet today that is providing the information that he's providing in the way that he provides it. It's the one and only Dr. Randy Short. How you doing today, sir?
Oh, I'm very good, Brother Ron Hurt. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm about to be better because of what the things you about to provide. I know last time you was on the show, it touched a nerve with a lot of people, both pro and con, against some of your viewpoints, especially about your thoughts about your former college classmate, Omarosa, but you don't hold any punches. You just let them, land where they're going to land. So, without further ado, I want to first and foremost get your thoughts on the legacy of the man known as John McCain from your point of view.
John McCain was a war criminal. John McCain absolutely a person that black people should have their flags if they got them, pull the thing back up to the top, a full mast. My comments, as I said, in Facebook, my eyes are drier than the Sahara Desert during a heat wave. John McCain is his father. He's an intergenerational, comes from generations of white, racist, imperialistic war criminals. No ifs, buts, and ands about it. And when you see all these people, all these devils crying over someone, trust me, they've put a lot of black folks and other people of color in the ground before their time for no reason at all. And that's just the way it is. John McCain sold out white folks, too, when he was being tortured by the Vietnamese. He told them everything. My uncle was flying planes in Vietnam. I think he got shot down. I hope McCain had nothing to do with that. But a lot of folks are widows and don't know their dads and never got their sons back because John McCain, if you can't take the pain and you're a soldier, you don't snitch on other people. Give up the ghost. Go on and die. And he died in the 60s. A whole lot of people be alive today, and the world may have been a much better place. I know maybe he was a husband to Lindsey Graham or something like that. I don't know. I mean, all these people, but I'm sorry. And let's remember, he's from Arizona, right? Arizona's brought us a lot of things that are problematic as black people. It brought us Barry Goldwater. In case you don't know, I'll just tell you something. The people in my family are not necessarily the most radical people, but my mother had an opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be the number one personal assistant to Barry Goldwater, and my mother turned it down.
Wow.
Think about that. I'm not talking about being a personal assistant like Omarosa in 2016. I'm talking about like in 1964, being perhaps one of the highest ranking black people working female in the country on the Republican side. And my mother said no. John McCain was opposed. Barry Goldwater was opposed to the Civil Rights Movement, was opposed to Voting Rights Act, opposed to Civil Rights Act, right? And this is, and we have to say this because we're saying his name wrong. His name is Barry Goldwasser. Barry Goldwater is a Jew. The family's Jewish, and black folks need to start looking when you hear these names. Go and start doing genealogical research You're going to find a lot of times some of the meanest people in the country. You're going to be shocked. Yes, I'm not saying that there's necessarily a qualitative difference between what kind of races or which ethnic bloc, but you're going to find some of these people are Jewish. What? I mean, they're supposed to be our friends. Well, they're their own friends, and I'm not mad at them for being their own friends, but it doesn't make them our friends. So Barry Goldwater comes from Arizona, and it has been a hotbed of anti-Black reaction like Mississippi all along. So John McCain, in the shoes of Barry Goldwater, who also didn't get to be president, thank God. And in fact, you're a hater. John McCain's a hater, and John McCain's a loser. He's going to go down in history as the only white man that got his ass beat by the first Black man to be president of the United States. And I think that's what gave him brain cancer. I think that thing was in his mind over and over. A nigga beat me. A nigga beat me. A nigga beat me. I survived DC and the nigga still beat me. We could do a rap with that, right?
Well, yeah.
John McCain, let's just do this, was born in the Canal Zone, Panama Canal Zone. That thing was worse in South Africa for Black people than Panama. Black folks, about 25% or more of the population of Panama. The Black folks in Panama are among the most resilient Black people in the diaspora. The Black people in Panama, some of them had negotiated their freedom through fighting, hooking up with the Black Indians and others down there, had negotiated their freedom with the Spanish 100 years before the establishment of, literally 100 years before the United States became a country, actually earlier. As early as, say, about 1520, they had their Palenques or their Maroon communities, or independent Black communities that were working with, get this, using international allies among the English and others to rob the Spanish, to force the Spanish, who were bringing gold across the Isthmus of Panama and silver and so forth to get back and forth because, you know, the Spanish took control of the Philippines, and getting gold from Peru that would come up the Pacific coast, would cross through Panama, be put off on the Caribbean coast and sail to Spain. And the Black folks down there created choke points to kick white folk in the behind, take their money. And they were doing it so much until they let these people free. Just don't let we white people take our stuff. You know, white people need their money. They'll be friends to the devil, but they got to have that money. And they're not like Black folks that are all emotional and, you know, everything is how I feel. And if you tell me something that's the truth and I don't like it, God forbid it's a person that's of the other sex. Oh, I can't cope with truth. Now, Panama, so the Black folks down there negotiated their freedom 200 years, 300 years before Black folks were really able to break free here. And so they've been struggling all this time. But when the Americans went in there to build that canal, initially to build a train railway, and then eventually the French, de Lesseps, the same person that started the Suez Canal, and they did genocide on the Black Egyptian folks working on the canal there. A minimum of 100,000 people died building the Suez Canal. Then they went down to Panama and they built the canal there, and maybe 40,000 people died, mostly Black, building the Panama Canal. A lot of those people from the Caribbean, from all the islands in the Caribbean, when they were supposedly freed by the British, it was bullshit. What they did was they decided to starve the Black people to death using their coons, the little light skin or house niggas, along with the white folks, to create no opportunities so these people would die off, so they could force these people to work for whatever wage they wanted. And the only way out for those people was to go to Panama or come to America and work. And those people became like an underclass. In fact, the word for them is digger. They're called diggers.
Wow.
And these diggers were mistreated by John McCain's class of people that lived in Canal Zone, his grandfather and father, whoever was down there. In fact, the way the Americans have set this thing up, the whites were paid in gold and the black diggers were paid in silver. We won't even get into the fact that the whites were paid more and given everything better. So John McCain was raised in a place where apartheid was the norm. So anybody ran around, ooh, hell with John McCain. Okay, he's gone. And I'll just say John McCain didn't grow or expand. There's a restaurant on 15th Street, or I think it's 15th Street or 16th Street, DC, called Old Ebbitt's Grill. Maybe it's on 15th Street, I think. And on Old Ebbitt's Grill, John McCain would go there and crack race jokes, nigger jokes amongst his friends and staff, okay? So, I mean, I'm cracking jokes on him tonight or this morning, and it feels good too. And I'm not finished. Aside from selling out fellow servicemen, that's why you had the swift boat, this group of white men that tanked John McCain because they see him as a traitor. When John McCain signed that statement, the thing that they said he regretted until he died, John McCain was supposed to be court-martialed when he came home, but he had that connection because he came from generations. His father was a 4-star admiral. He had that backup. That means he could betray his colleagues. He could betray the country. He could get people killed. And that white privilege kicked in. So imagine you go from being a traitor that could have been court-martialed, even shot, depending on if folk really wanted to get hard, and who helped his father and that little closet sissy named Tricky Dick. And the dick was tricky. Pardoned. They didn't punish him. Now, had there been a black man, he would have contrast John McCain, who betrayed his country, to Abraham Bolden, the black Secret Service man who was looking out for the Kennedys, and one that found out about it being a conspiracy where they assassinated Kennedy, and they threw him in jail and lied on him. They framed him. This man is in his 80s with prostate cancer, and no one's trying to pardon him for doing a good job, doing a great job. Okay. In fact, had Abraham Bolden been allowed to go to Dallas, he may have died, but he would have been willing to prevent Kennedy from being assassinated. Imagine what kind of world we'd live in if Abraham Bolden had not been blocked and stripped from the presidential detail. And compare that to if John McCain had been court-martialed. Now, John McCain was a warmonger. The man had like 13, 14 mansions. How do you get that as a senator? He was getting hundreds of thousands of dollars above the table, God knows what below, being the biggest, basically bottom bitch for the armaments industry for the United States, using his position on the Armed Services Committee to promote conflict so he could get a commission. I mean, he's a thug, fraud, a racist. Look at his hands. In Yemen, 10, 15 million or more people, many of them black, are facing total starvation from a war John McCain supported. Remember, the United States went into Somalia and then tried to do stuff. John McCain was around. He was the senator then. John McCain, every war, Iraq, Afghanistan, he's down for it. See, he was trying to get payback against people of color for his ass getting broken in the Hanoi Hilton. And for all the little black folks that believe in forgiving everything, no, we need to forgive one another and hold a grudge against people that hate us until they stop doing what they do. And maybe they won't. Then just hold a grudge. Shoot. Now, so Yemen, just by itself, at least a third of Yemen are black folk. Oh, at least a third. It may be half. They expect in a couple of months that'll be 20 million people facing their death. The war John McCain supported. Now, 20 is way more than 6 million for these Jews folks cry about. John McCain, one of those people supporting the armaments people. What did he do for Rwanda? What did he do for Congo? What did he do for Angola or whatever? Whatever the United States could have a war or sell weapons, this man was boosting it. Not Haiti. He's one of the people that called for the crushing of black folks in Haiti. He's one of the most wickedest man that's cursed black people since they put Negroes in the boat to take them to somewhere other than Africa. He was for and buddies with Hillary Clinton, and he was down with Obama. He liked Obama when he realized Obama wanted to have as many wars as he did. Libya, John McCain has supported the destruction of Gaddafi. John McCain is friends and hangs out with people in ISIS and so forth that mass murder black people, enslave black people, kill Christians, burn people, torture people, rape and behead people, and make women sex slaves. Those are friends of John McCain. The pictures are all up on the internet. He traveled around with folks. So this country has spent $4 trillion fighting Al-Qaeda and ISIS. And he's chilling with them, drinking wine coolers or whatever he was doing. And I'm supposed to cry over him dying? Shoot. I mean, to me, that was late. It's not like, a nice apple on the tree that fell off prematurely. That was a poison apple that should have never ever been on the tree. You just ask yourself, when you think about it, look at all the tributes. Notice that nobody black had anything to say about John McCain. So that means John McCain supported Reagan and all the destruction of all the programs and things that black people benefited from. That means he supported Papa Bush, little CIA criminal who's lived too long. God, put a bubble in that little IV. Yes, please. Help us, right? I mean, now that ugly wife of his is gone. Woo! Remember her? She looked like the devil was bungee jumping on her face. Wow. And, yes, she did. She's bad looking. And she was good looking young. But when you're evil, when you age, you look more and more like a demon. Basically, she deserved the, a lifetime achievement in ugliness. It probably got lost in the mail. She never got it, but she won it. Believe that. I believe her. She told me, yeah, you won the ugliest woman ever was first lady. We need 100 Michelle Obamas and prettier in the White House just to remove the curse of Barbara Bush being in there. And forgive me, he was with him and Clinton didn't get along, but yet when Clinton went into Somalia, when Clinton was bombing Bosnia, they had no business over there bombing people. When they were in Kosovo, the people in Kosovo are pushing dope and human trafficking and all this stuff. We've been lied to about what American wars have been. But people like McCain are getting paid. So McCain is loved by the war machine, the hate machine, the killing machine. That's what he belongs to. And I always deal with miseducated, confused, religious black people. I don't care what the religion is. It usually gets on my nerves because it's for pro-black. I always say to people, the Bible and Galatians 6, forget which verse, but it says, whatever a man soweth, so shall he reap. If this man has sown hatred, racism, war, death, destruction, GMO foods, and human experimentation all over the planet, he shouldn't have been the only one that died. And having his little daughter on there with the blonde hair, crying over daddy. Well, hell, a lot of folks are crying over their mamas and daddies because of what her father was for. You don't see them on TV. And I'm not just saying this to you. I tweeted the broad in Twitter. Your father's a war criminal, baby. If he dies, he's had a good life. He's lived to be 80 something. How many people won't live at all? How many people have depleted uranium? How many babies have a skull that looks like a retarded jelly bean because the depleted uranium from the arms of these people who paid John McCain? How many black men are drowning in the Mediterranean trying to get out of Libya? How many black women are being tortured and raped and sold? How many black men are being tortured, raped, and sold in Libya because of John McCain?
Wow.
Where's Gaddafi's gold? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't John McCain say something about Puerto Rico when the flood hit them? Why didn't John McCain say something about Florida or Flint? You name something that this man did. I mean, the reason a lot of these people love John McCain is they've been told to love him. We were told to love Obama, and some of us still do. But qualitatively, what do we have from him? This man has been, a great American hero. It's not heroic to get shot down and stench out everybody. That would be like me being a quarterback for the Washington Redskins and giving my playbook to the Cowboys and wanting to get the most valuable player ring and the Super Bowl trophy. I mean, that's retarded. I mean, you sold out to a traitor. And he never stopped hating non-white people for him being a white man broken by a group of non-white folks. They say he reconciled to Vietnam. Sure he did. Why? The Vietnamese need to buy American weapons to jump off the Chinese. And who do they send over there? Their little bud boy from the cell block in Hanoi Hilton, John McCain. I mean, it's just God. The more things change, the more they stay the same. And an asshole will always be an asshole, no matter how many times you wipe it. Okay, it's always going to be the same. All right. So that's how I feel. So John McCain, not a friend. What was one of the last places in America, states, to make King's birthday a holiday?
Arizona, yeah.
Who was senator?
John McCain.
Y'all love his ass?
Well,
you go ahead and do it. I mean, I don't have to, I'm a Christian, but I can't say I can't turn the other cheek. I like Dr. Kingdom, but that stuff, the first time I ever saw the civil rights movement footage was in 1972. And I was watching the folks get beat on that bridge, the Edmund Pettus Bridge, Selma. And my reaction to that is, who took people in to get beat like that? And I had a grudge against Martin Luther King from the time I was, I would have been 7. What? That's the movement? Get your ass beat by people that hate you? Oh, I can't do that. Somebody put that. I mean, I'm not a tough person. I don't like pain. If you hurt me, I'm going to want to do something to you. If I can't do it right then and there, I was going to eventually do it. I can't do that. I can't have someone spit in my face because I had stuff like that happen in school. And no, I got spit back. I got hit you with the chair or something. You must respect me. I will not do anything to you. You will not do anything to me. So Dr. King and all these other people, all the folks, black folks who love their enemies and got all this damn racial reconciliation for everybody that violates us that won't stop. And somebody like me halfway tells them what's going on, and folks put all that violence up on your webpage. Shame on particular sisters. Shame on y'all for not thinking, for not opening your minds, for saying, well, my emotion is equal to logic and facts. Is that why y'all go to the Asian hair parlors and get beat up and then expect all the black men to come and bail y'all out after you give your money to people that hate you and your babies? And silly brothers, ooh, I see the women on the thread don't like him. Maybe I could get a hookup by attacking this brother. Weak, sorry, black dudes. I mean, the world is bigger than your magic stick. In fact, your magic stick ain't that big. And if it is that big, can it free us? Will it change the destiny? Will it take the veil and take the shackles off our people? If it can't do that, it's called your private. Keep it private, and let it be an organ versus your brain. Our people have to get out of being primal and be modern. Frederick Douglass and all these other black folks, they could read, think, contemplate, and they could take truth wherever it came from. It didn't have to be put like what Mary Poppins, a spoonful of sugar. And most folks love that story, don't even realize the lady that wrote that book was into the occult, worshiping the Lucifer. So Luciferian medicine, with sugar in it, so you can swallow it because it's got some poison in it, but it tastes good. A lot of things taste good, can kill you. A lot of things like hearing aren't good for you, whether it's from a coon preacher, or from a Democratic candidate, or from a lying-ass Republican that just wants to vote so he can rape you the same way a black or a white Democrat would. Wake up, folks. And I do care, but then again, I don't. I've always said, and this is my saying, brotherhood, I'm a racist against ignorant people. I don't want to live in the same world. I don't like ignorant people in my house. I don't talk to ignorant people over the phone. I don't like sitting next to ignorant people on the bus. I believe in segregation. Stupid people and smart people shouldn't mix. Black folks that can't think and black folks that do think shouldn't be together. And black folks that think shouldn't help black folks who don't like thinking. Let them discover if they won't get it through vicarious learning, through study and observation. If truth can't come to them openly and honestly, then let them learn the hard way. And folks are learning. And for the sisters that got all mad, I'm fascinated. Did they get that mad, brotherhood, when they slashed the sisters' throats over in Oakland? Did they get that mad when they slashed the sisters' throats in Las Vegas this week? Why is this anger so directed towards black men that are thinking, and then they beef and bitch about the black men in lockup, the ones that don't pay child support? Can't have it both ways. And I blame black men. A queen likes knowledge, information, culture, and decency. If you don't like that, you're not a queen. In fact, if you're not a queen, you're something else. Anyway, now, brother, I just wanted to bring something to your audiences because I'm going to be doing this. We got to do another program, my brother. We should just to because I want to talk to you about this attack, this plot to destroy black education.
Oh, Dr. Shaw, I want to put this on people's minds before you get too far to that. I want to say that I remember when they attacked John Kerry, who could have been considered a war hero with the both Veterans for Truth back in 2004 when he ran.
Yeah,
They basically destroyed his career in terms of being a president. I mean, they tamed it like they did Michael Dukakis with the tank thing. But also, black people did support, Stevie Wonder did a tribute to him an impromptu tribute to John McCain during a concert. And also D.L. Hughley said that he was a man who exhibited principle. So you had black folks that was like basically campaigning and caping for John McCain and his so-called legacy. Then his wife, her father was a so-called bootlegger, Jim Hensley, out in Arizona. You know, he had distribution for Anheuser-Busch, but his business tactics were questionable. I mean, even organized crime, like, according to some people. But anyway, go ahead, Dr. Short.
Well, what I was going to say, we got to do Stevie Wonder real fast because I love Stevie Wonder. I've met him once. And I think Stevie Wonder is a great talent. However, Stevie Wonder has done some very odd things the last, say, 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to help through media do a protest against Stevie Wonder for something he was trying to do just 5 years ago. 5 years ago, people need to remember something because they don't get it. Stevie Wonder is a great musician, a great talent. I personally grew up listening to. We love Stevie Wonder. We remember him from Fingertips to There's a Ribbon in the Sky and beyond. But ask yourself, when was the last time Stevie Wonder had a big top 10 hit?
Wow, that's a good question.
When did he have an album in the top 10 in the last, say, 20 years?
Great question.
When was the last time? And I'm not saying that Stevie Wonder has been, but in terms of record business, when you don't have a hit in like almost 2 decades, I'm talking about a real big hit, you has been.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he's a has been. I'm saying that's how the record business operates. Has been.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that way. I don't think that Stevie Wonder's a has been. I think Stevie Wonder's a great. But in the industry that he's in, he's a has been.
Exactly.
I don't want that. So when the little nasty comments come in from the little, you don't got no correct. I never said I did. I didn't say he was a has been. I said industry standard is you need to be putting out a hit or two every year. Madonna, if you contrast Madonna, a non-talented Luciferian white fraud. I didn't like it the first time I heard the song Holiday that came out in 83, 84. I've never bought any Madonna stuff. Very simply, Madonna's been hitting at least every year or two. She has a hit, an album. If you compare her output to Stevie Wonder's output, and that Stevie Wonder always has quality stuff, all of his music is wonderful. Madonna stuff is trash, although it's danceable. Who's relevant? Rihanna. Okay. Got these people put stuff out all the time. Stevie Wonder, where am I going with it? Stevie Wonder works for Rahm Emanuel, the little homosexual racist who abuses his wife in Chicago, whose father was a terrorist. Rahm Emanuel's brother, Ari Emanuel, is this little Zionist Jewish terrorist. Stevie Wonder's management, either directly or indirectly. Okay? Did you know that?
No, sir. No.
So Stevie Wonder is a talent, and he gets love and all because he's got somebody Zionistic that he's working for. Why would I say that? 5 years ago, the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, the folks who murder Palestinians, many of them black, the Israelis just admitted in the last 2 weeks that they took a drone and blew up a black Palestinian boy playing on the beach just to kill him. The Israeli Defense Force helps manage concentration camps in the Negev Desert in Israel, full of as many as 50,000 black people. The IDF helped train the South Africans to murder black people in Angola, Mozambique, and Lusaka, Zambia. and also in South Africa itself and in Namibia, the Israeli army trains the police that murder our black boys. There's a thing called JINSA, JINSA, the Jewish Institute for National Security Affairs that works with police departments across America. So American policemen are taught how to shoot to kill and torture and brutalize people the way the Palestinians are brutalized by the Israelis, but that's done primarily to we black people here in the United States. And what was Stevie Wonder doing? And what did Shaka Khan do in Stevie Wonder's place because we gave Stevie Wonder so much hell? They're raising money for the Israeli Defense Forces. Stevie Wonder was supposed to do a tribute to the IDF, the ones who massacre and drop 5-ton bombs on families and use white phosphorus and torture the Israeli Defense Forces that went to Haiti and cut the corneas off the eyes of black Haitians and took their organs and sold them. Stevie Wonder's raising money for them.
Wow.
I love Stevie Wonder, but that's a cool move if I've seen one. Stevie Wonder backed out. I remember the radio broadcast I did. My joke was, we all knew Stevie Wonder was blind. We never knew he was stupid. So you know who went in his place? Another person that hasn't had a major hit in decades. I called her Shaka Coon. And I changed that song. What's it? Shaka Coon. Shaka Coon. Shaka Coon. Look at me, right? That's just because I don't feel for you, right?
Right.
I don't feel for you because I don't love you. Right. I mean, I did the whole thing. I did the rap. Yeah. They didn't have us back on the radio for a while because they were mad, but no, Shaka Coon. And she's still doing it. So when they're in Hollywood, they have to raise money for these Luciferian, pedophile, Satanists, Zionists who hate black people's guts. And I'm sorry, I know Stevie Wonder got his radio station. He got to pay his bills, and he keeps marrying and making all these babies. And thank God he's making them. Someone's got to make black babies. There's a whole woman with the bad attitudes out there. Y'all kill babies. We got a lot of sisters, think they're so special and killing the black babies. Shoot, if you don't want to have a baby, don't sleep with folk. There are lots of ways to avoid getting pregnant without killing the black child.
That's something we don't really want to talk about.
A lot of nasty attitudes and meanness and all this stuff. A lot of it has to do with the abortions that folks have had. Yeah, and folk need to go and get some help, psychotherapy, for having killed the life up in you. And a lot of sorry brothers out there, shoot, if the Hispanics can go out and do any kind of work, you should do it too. If you make a baby, don't have that girl kill your child. Oh, yes. In fact, let's just segue. I want to get to this man. Forgive me, my phone started acting up, and I don't want to get the wrong name. When you talk about folks, you got to say the right name. It's amazing how these phones work. You called me, brother, and it won't work. The phone won't work. The man, you called like 10 times. And I'm sitting right there. It's like, that's interesting. So I want to pull this brother's name up. And the second I have it, I want to just go into him. I want to make certain that I have the proper name. Nothing like having the right name. Here it is. There are two black men that are no damn good that everybody needs to know about. Two. One of them is named Dr. Harry L. Williams. Dr. Harry L. Williams is a coon and a man, kind of dude that works in higher education that likes getting their stuff off the hook. Or let me just say it differently. He's the kind of person many people suspect, with very good reason, that they would be having intimate relationships with the students that they're supposed to serve. Like this dude more than likely is alleged to have done at Delaware State University. And let me share with you what this brother is doing. This brother is now head of the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. But here's the kicker. Harry don't like HBCUs and thinks that most of them should be closed. All the black folks, there are 300,000 black folks being educated at HBCUs. He thinks half of them should be closed. There's 150,000 folks who aren't going to be in school if he had it his way. And that's 150,000 folks who might be in the school to prison pipeline. He doesn't care. He never went to HBCUs. His little spoiled ass kids don't go to HBCUs. He's been groomed by folks like the Koch brothers. They have a whole conspiracy to destroy black education. All the black colleges, they want to get rid of all of them, get the hard assets, get the land. Like whenever they move people out of public housing, make them into condos, some all the little gay couples make millions of dollars. And the folks get told, well, you're going to get to come back, and they don't get to. And his logic, it's black people's fault that there's been a historic disparity and discrepancy in who gets funds and support for educational institutions. So don't make it right. Don't fix it. Blame blacks for the deficit and close the schools. That's like blaming the rape victim for having blood coming out of their private parts. And he's head of what used to be called the United Negro College Fund. It's now called the College Fund. And he's the coon that's talking to Trump. Now, thank God for people like you, Brother Hurd. All these people need to help me. We got to get that Negro out of the United Negro College Fund, which is now called the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. Man, it's a monster. He hates black people. He's even published that these schools need to be closed. They need to be merged. You're not going. I mean, they're not merging community colleges when white folks' schools are in trouble. They're not merging them. Find more money for them to keep them alive. Think about it. So you're going to close the black schools. And it's interesting. The community colleges, they just put them up everywhere. Just dump money on community colleges. They never dump that money on the HBCUs. They talk about what they don't have. And it's interesting. Now you've got the state schools, the private schools, and you have the community colleges. They have lavished money on the community colleges everywhere, but they've never treated the black HBCUs that have survived all these years. They never gave them the same funding. You know what I'm saying, Stu. You live in Tennessee. You go to Jackson Community College in Jackson, Tennessee. It looks so much better than Lane. Those devils have poured all that money. You know, I lived in Tennessee. I know I'm telling you the truth. And those community colleges don't hire black folks and black staff like the HBCUs do. And so it's just like when they desegregated the schools and they fired the black principals and they fired the black teachers. It's another way to give jobs and income to white people and take it from blacks. And they've got this nigger leading the charge. Let me tell you a little bit of what I know. This nigger's in court right now against a wonderful person named Dr. Jahi Issa from St. Louis, Missouri, was at Delaware State, and this man had the cops on campus beat this black teacher. What kind of person has a faculty person that the students love beaten by the police?
Wow.
Not only that, Dr. Issa had collected maybe $200,000 worth of books to send to Africa. And president of Delaware State University, Harry L. Williams, had all those books put outside so they could be rained on. Waited for the book. Banned Issa from the campus. He'd be arrested if he came up there. And let it be, and told the students, you can't save the books. If you touch a book, you'll be put out of school. And let the books be destroyed, and then told them to come get them.
Wow.
That's a barbarian that destroys books. That's a person that's a book lover. that's I've been hating this man ever since I heard that. Those books were meant to go to Africa for African kids.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine you just destroy them. Now he has a buddy. His buddy that he replaced at Delaware State was named Dr. Allen Sessions. Dr. Allen Sessions, when he was president of Delaware State, had all the books in the African American Studies Department destroyed. If a white man had done that, they'd be a racist, they'd be a Nazi. When a coon does it, I'm certain some of the emotional, irrational people in your audience would say, well, maybe he had a good reason. No, niggas all of a sudden began to do somersaults and stupidity to defend somebody that's doing something that's clearly morally evil and wrong and harmful to the other black people. They find some way to try to make sense out of it. Are you hearing me? Destroyed the books on black people. Destroyed them. You couldn't do that at any white school and it not be a national scandal. And these guys, there's a whole pipeline of black men, they're all coons, being trained to be black college presidents that are trained by rich white folks who don't want any more educated black people so we can be re-enslaved conveniently. And they put these black men like Williams and Sessions as head of HBCUs, and they destroy. The first thing they do is they attack the staff that teach history. They get rid of the books. They run out the black faculty. They bring in Asians and others, and they begin to prepare that school to either be predominantly white and other with some blacks mixed in, or they tank the school. And of course, they cash out. They're going to get their money. They're going to get their retirement. And that's another door slammed in the faces of young black people, slammed in the faces of staff and faculty, slammed in the faces of our ancestors, and slammed in the faces of those yet unborn. And so this dude, Harry L. Williams, or Henry L. Williams, I'm sorry, I'd say Harry Henry L. Williams, just remember that part if I can't remember it. I mean, sometimes I don't feel like thinking about it. Mm-hmm. But let me make this clear. It's Harry, I'm right, Harry L. Williams. Harry L. Williams sits over the United Negro College Fund. Do you really think that he's going to give scholarships to black students if you like white students and Asian students and Hispanic students more? Are you feeling me, brother?
Oh, yeah. I'm just letting it soak in. I mean,
people really need to. There is a court case where Dr. Issa has these folks on the ropes. What Williams did was so wrong until the judge up in Delaware, you don't believe me, go to Pacer. What is it called? The Third Federal District Court of Delaware. The judges have been ruling against an HBCU over a fired faculty member. Okay, where he's literally on the point of stripping them from immunity so they can be sued for as much money as Dr. Issa wants. It's the stuff they did was so wrong.
Mm-hmm.
This man is in charge of money that is supposed to go to hundreds of thousands of black students in over a few years, millions. Mm-hmm. Do you think he can do it? And why do we let coons and traitors and enemies of the people have jobs around our young people that are so sensitive? And if you'll screw your students for pleasure, why not screw them for cash?
Mm.
This man is a sleaze. This man is a monster. Him and Sessions. Black folk need to begin to become gangster against coons, gangster against sellouts, Negroidians, blacknecks, scum, or my new term, Yorugu lovers. This Yorugu lover, Harry L. Williams, don't give money to the college fund until that dude gets moved. I mean, and for him to be put with Thurgood Marshall's name on something. It's like putting Clarence Thomas on the $20 bill with Harriet Tubman.
Mm.
She would say, "Damn, the slave catchers finally caught me." So, you want to save black schools and universities? You want to give young black people a chance? You want to fight against the prison industrial complex and the school to prison pipeline? You got a cell phone. You got an email. Y'all need to start telling people, calling folks that this nigger and all the other people on the board of the Thurgood Marshall College Fund that would bring this monster into this position, they should be fired.
Mm.
And I want to just say something about Alan Sessions, just to let you know what a piece of shit he was.
Mm.
I hope he hears this. He came down to Washington, D.C. at the same point that he was replaced at Delaware State University by Williams. Do you know when this man got to UDC, he told the bookstore to get rid of all the books about Africans and black people.
Mm. Wow.
You know, UDC, the University of the District of Columbia, is the largest public university in D.C., and it's predominantly black. You know they're going to have history classes and stuff like that. He literally tried to get rid of anything that had anything to do with black people at a school predominantly black.
Wow.
That's the kind of coons that these people are. It's the kind of traitors that these people are. I couldn't go to a university in China and try to get rid of everything on Chinese. People would cut my head off. As it should. We're the only people that don't do what we do. We should do to our enemies. And I'm not saying that's so we cut his head off, literally. But he should be right out of the school. He ultimately, at UDC is a pretty interesting place because they've had some very corrupt directors and so forth. And they let him stay for a long time. This dude was universally thrown out of UDC. And I think the term was without cause. I mean, literally, he was so bad until everyone came together and got rid of him.
Wow.
Do you have children, Hurd?
No, sir.
But you want to,
Yes,
as I do.
Yeah.
Do you realize that we may not have HBUs in 10, 15 years if people like Harry Williams get their way? Is that right?
Oh, no. But we had Obama for 8 years, so why didn't not President Obama, the first black president, protect the HBCUs?
No, he took almost $500 million away. And then when he put the money back in the budget, he didn't increase what Bush did. Even Donald Trump's cheap ass gave $45 million, which is nothing, additional money to HBCUs. They could have gotten more. They should have demanded more.
Mm-hmm.
Omarosa, by the way, let's talk about that real fast. Omarosa messed up the effort for the HBCUs to begin to make inroads to get what they could get from the Trump administration. For all the little sisters out there with their weaves and all that love Omarosa, she don't love you. She was blocking and holding up and preventing people from being able to make the moves because she, due to, I'll say it, institutional short-sightedness, racism, whatever you want to call it in the Trump administration, it's there, I'm certain. It was there for Obama, who did a hell of a lot worse with black people in his White House. Okay, I said that too. He did. Omarosa was blocking people, keeping people, not returning calls. I know folks who are right up with Trump now. Not that these people are radicals. They're not. Your audience is correct. I never said these people are revolutionaries. I never called them black nationalists. However, if they care about a black college or university more than Obama did, I'd rather see them get what they want than folks who are all onto Obama to save your black people. I want to remind people that Obama one of the first things he did, I was working for HBCU when it started. The first thing Obama did when he got in office was he removed the money that George Bush had put in, something like the equivalent of $100 million a year to go to HBCUs. Extra, additional money. To me, it's too little. It should be $1 billion a year. Maybe even $2 billion a year. What difference would it make? Maybe $5 or $10 billion a year until they get these things up to speed. Right? Obama took that away for 4 years. So there are black kids who didn't get to go to school, black teachers that didn't get paid, black teachers that didn't get hired, black staff that didn't get raises. Some schools closed their doors. South Carolina State University, I think, closed its doors when Obama was president. St. Paul College, a school started by my ancestors, including those related to my lied on and set up cousin, Bill Cosby. He may have been a hoe, but he's not a rapist. Benadryl ain't a rape drug. You can get Benadryl in jail. If Benadryl's a rape drug, is that what they do when they go and they tax on the booth? They give them Benadryl. I don't think so. St. Paul College in Lawrenceville, Virginia closed its doors when Obama was president. Obama could have saved it. So what we have here is we got a lot of coons, a lot of people who are playing very wicked roles to destroy us, grinning in our faces, smiling at us. And they got a lot of help. They got people who are emotional and irrational. I like someone. They wouldn't do that. That's like if their child, my child won't sell drugs. The $1 billion under their mattress is because of their paper route. Right? Mm-hmm. So Obama did betray it. In fact, Obama had people say that they didn't really think that HBCUs were significant. He had the same logic of Harry L. Williams, Obama's people. He had non-HBCU people. Nobody from an HBCU had really any presence in the Obama administration. They didn't think that they were important. It's interesting because even Clinton had people from the HBCUs working with him. Are you understanding me?
Yes, sir. I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Well, our schools are at risk of being closed and destroyed by enemies, oftentimes black Democrats. It's interesting. Republicans who want blacks to stay away from white schools have always given money to HBCUs. They may have not given enough, but they gave some. Democrats, who are supposedly our friends, don't give anything. It's amazing to me. And they're the good guys. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And the logic, the same folks who think that Omarosa, who didn't have a whole lot of power, but if you've been sleeping with the president, y'all know that's what it is. You can get a lot of messages through. Sure you can. Don't tell me Charlottesville went down and you couldn't have sent out a tweet. Does he treat his wife right? We know he doesn't. She put out a tweet. and the substitute wife, his daughter, I don't know how deep that gets, but it's kind of creepy sometimes. The optics is creepy. You're creeped by the optics too. Tell the truth, Heard. Aren't you?
I mean, he says a lot of things about his daughter, like he wants to get with her if it wasn't his daughter. I mean,
Jesus, help me. Yeah. Who would say that out loud and boast about it?
Well, there was Trump. You know what? And another thing about Trump, like even with the John McCain thing, Trump was on to something, right? When he said he didn't like John McCain, he wasn't a war hero, right? He got caught. I mean, Trump was saying stuff without saying it.
Well, Trump couldn't say certain things, but Trump told the truth. There's something up with that. Something up with dude. Explain how did he get caught? Well, no, he got shot down, but what you'll find, anybody go back and look back and start checking out when the American planes began to get taken down by the Vietnamese. And by the way, I'm completely against the Vietnam War. I wish that nobody had to go there. I think that America should stop fighting and bothering other people's color. No Vietnamese called me nigger either. But in as much as you have American service persons over there, their planes started going down after they caught John McCain.
Now, and people need to do their research. So you got the internet, you got the information age, but now they're trying to scrub it.
Yeah, and oh, let's do one more. You just mentioned scrubbing. I know if you follow my page on Facebook, I know you saw that I put up information on the 4 black folks getting all the kudos running for office.
Mm-hmm.
You got Fat Girl, Stacey Abrams.
Mm-hmm.
You got Espy in Mississippi. And I want you to tell me, because, Mike Espy was the first person to just go. He was Obama before Obama. He was just giving gay people everything in the Department of Agriculture. Probably cucumbers and corn cobs too. But anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but anyway, just Espy, who's running to be senator from Mississippi, and I hope he gets it. But he was a pioneer of just giving gay people whatever they want. And it's interesting. I don't know if Espy taking any kind of super strong stance on race, but he really did stand up for gay people in D.C. That's real talk.
Mm.
Does Espy stand up for black people down in Mississippi? You down there in Tennessee? Is he known for really taking radical and bold stances?
I mean, Mississippi is known for having more elected black officials than any state in the country, but also is one of the poorest states. I mean, it got wealth in Mississippi, but a lot of black folks ain't doing that well. You got to concentrate.
That's not what I'm asking you. I know about that. Doesn't he have a brother named Chuck Espy?
I'm not sure, but the Espy, their family name is very strong among black folks.
Okay. Because he's either somebody down in Clarksdale, Mississippi,
mm-hmm.
and they've just completely become like the biggest homosexual in the Delta.
Well, I mean, it's the times, right? You got the gay agenda is very strong right now in this country. They got a lot of powerful backers, as you know.
But not in Mississippi. Mississippi hasn't gone for that.
Not yet, anyway. They're holding out, but
So they're not holding out. They're bending over in the Delta because this guy named Chuck Espy. I wonder if he's related or something to Mike Espy. In Clarksdale, Mississippi, they've been pushing hard to just bring all that stuff in. They've already made it normal.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Okay, now I'm just trying to find out this dude related to Mike Espy, but I was asking you, and you're being that coy Southern gentleman, you're not answering my question.
Okay.
Is Mike Espy a very outspoken for black rights person? Is he anything like Chokwe Lumumba?
I'll have to say no. Not to my knowledge. No, sir.
So he's not like Chokwe Lumumba?
No, sir. Man, nobody's like Chokwe Lumumba. Nobody down there is like him.
Any parallel, like the son, the daughter, Rakia, give me something. You tell me that Espy, is there anything he fights for that black people benefit for that he will aggressively do, even if white folks don't like it? I need to know. I
don't hear anything. He's not on the level of Chokwe. No, I don't hear nothing like that coming out of Mississippi about it.
Give me something. I'm not. By the way, I want people to vote for Espy. Don't get me wrong. Vote for Espy. But
I mean, he's a politician, right? That's what politicians do. They don't necessarily take hard stances or anything.
John McCain can be radical for white rights. No, Hispanics are radical for illegals to have rights. What is it about black politicians can't speak up for black people? Everybody speaks. Asians do it.
But we used to have politicians like that. We used to have like the
Is Espy strong as a black man, or is he not strong as a black man?
I'm telling you something about Espy. Excuse me. I remember him from the Clinton days when they attacked him for giving out, I guess, or taking political gifts.
He only got $7,000. McCain's gotten millions.
Right. I mean, they persecuted him for that. That's why I remember him. I don't remember anything after that.
It was less than $8,000. But you know what? I noticed. I'm gonna tell you something that SB never did. It's $8,000, and most of it came from Tyson in Arkansas.
Mm.
And you know what? Clinton never helped them. You want to know what you know what I get from what happened to SB?
What?
First and foremost, I'm gonna give you some stories your audience doesn't know. There's a man by the name of Tom Skinner. Tom Skinner's wife, who was a woman who was running the Black Caucus Foundation or whatever, Barbara Skinner.
Mm-hmm.
She's hardcore political operative, problematic too, because she's the one that told the Kings not to have Harry Belafonte at Coretta Scott King's funeral. He was and everything else. So,
wow. But
Barbara Skinner is a political monster, right? Beast in terms of getting stuff. All right. Barbara Skinner and her husband, Tom Skinner, who used to be the chaplain for the Washington Redskins, the major black evangelist, black radical evangelist preacher, very close friends to my father.
Mm-hmm.
And Barbara's friends with my mom, all right, reached out to SB when he first came to D.C. and says, can we talk to you? May we talk to you? And can we help you? And SB did, and I'm going to say this to the Deep South black folk. I'm not picking. I'm a Southerner. I'm not a Northerner. I definitely knew that after living in Massachusetts. But a lot of times, black folks from the Deep South have some kind of issue where they don't like listening to black people from other places in the country.
Mm.
And to their loss, I can learn something from people down south or from out west. Learn from wherever you can get it from.
That's right.
You know, I'm telling the truth.
I hear what you said, Dr. Shirley. Mm-hmm.
They don't like, you know, especially if it's a northern black person, whatever they say they're going to fight and be against. And I don't know, that must be some kind of cotton picking inferiority complex that doesn't allow the information to move around. Okay. But these folks wanted to help SB, and SB told them, no, thank you. I got it.
Interesting.
These are people who've been in D.C. before he ever got there, about 20 years longer, because, let me see, the Skinners, Skinner was in D.C. at least as early as 73, 72, 70. And so 20 years before this dude came to D.C., they were here.
Mm-hmm.
And he had the other wife. He jumped her and got this younger one. Okay. Now, and SB pushed them away. These people weren't asking for money or to do it, you know, just, can we give you some stuff so you can make it so you won't get into trouble? And SB snubbed people. And I believe Hillary and Bill, because they're friends of the Tysons, every promising black man, there were two, Ronald Brown
mm-hmm.
and Mike SB, were promising national figure black people. And SB was a New South person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shot. Ronald Brown was a northern black person. Ronald Brown had a bullet in his head, and SB, they used over $15 million to go after him for getting $7,500. That's tickets to sports games and a couple of flights. That's not money.
Mm-hmm.
No money. And Clinton and them never fought for him. They didn't. And in fact, when Hillary was running, she never mentioned SB. Do you realize that the Clintons probably just had SB destroyed? And in all this time, SB never said, you know, it was racism. They bought me for airline tickets and games and some flowers and some nuts, literally, little small. And he was trying to impress some young woman. That's, you know, it's sort of like the stuff silly Jesse Jackson Jr. was doing. Silly rabbit. Six ain't for niggas. Okay. Silly rabbit. I think it's okay. Are you feeling me?
I hear what you say. Yes, sir.
SB has never ever said it was racism. He never went public and said, you know, I'm being persecuted. He never ever said that. But if they spent all that money and found nothing, what is it but persecution?
Right.
Which means that he tried to be the dignified black person that wouldn't say it has anything to do with race. He just fought and fought. and had nothing. Don't you realize he could have been president before Obama had he fought back? Not so much president, at least he could have had a higher post, could have done something else happened. Senator Jesse Helms, one of the greatest racists that ever lived, another person when he died. I mean, shoot, that was like, let's do a Richard Pryor record. And that's how I felt. Look, he went after SB for giving gay people all the sorts of privileges, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Clintons did not come and protect SB.
That's interesting. Wow.
And so SB's being attacked by Jesse Helms, and he's just out there being hammered. You see, SB, I'm going to tell you something. They did not want him in the Department of Agriculture. He fought to get it, so they made him choke on it because he couldn't say no to him, so you choked him with it. Now, SB's running for the Senate. Notice he's running for the Senate, and one of the big people that can raise money and funds that got a lot of votes. Notice that he don't have Hillary Clinton down there trying to help him.
Mm-hmm.
Notice he doesn't have Bill Clinton. So how to think about that?
That's something. Wow.
SB, but he is endorsed by the LGBTQ folks. They're saying we love him. We know that SB's gonna look out for us.